Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome again to my YouTube channel, Ericbroadus YouTube. I say again, welcome to my YouTube channel, Ericbroadus YouTube, and also to my Rumble channel, Snakz123. Anyway, guys, this is a topic that I was thinking about. I've been hearing about this stuff, especially online. Women, I guess, complaining, that men are missing from the dating market. They're not getting married anymore, and they're not showing up at mixer events and some places. I guess men's attendance at nightclubs is gone down, but I guess they're kind of saying like men are MIA or missing in action, and so. Looking at this climate that we are currently in, online, artificial intelligence, bad economy, obviously I don't want to say the word virus, post-virus after 2020 has changed the landscaping, and if I'm going to title this video, I would title it Strong, Independent, but Undateable. So I want to get that up front so you know exactly where I'm going. Now, let me lay this disclaimer out here. This is not a bash against women at all. I'm just merely trying to convey my perspective and my thoughts on what I perceive, is happening, okay? And it doesn't pertain to all women, because all women are not don't have the type of mindset or attitude of Miss Strong Independent, don't need a man, and blah blah blah. So all women are not like that. So if it don't apply, let it fly. But anyway, so I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it on social media, and there's even some even in real life, but they're complaining that men are not approaching them. They're not taking them out on dates, and there has been a percentage of complaining from some of them are single mothers. Okay? yeah, I'm going there. Some are single mothers that are complaining. And so as I listened to some of these women's standards, some they laid out their resume of how, they have their own home, make their own money. They have, this or that, what I'm saying, degrees, and they were, some of them, let's say, I'll give you one instance with a single mother, talking about how she has so much going for herself, but she doesn't have time to waste. And so if only serious guys that are serious about having a serious commitment, need to contact her only. And so as I listen to it, it's like, okay, well, number one, once you become a single mother, things for you in the dating and marriage market will never be the same, because now it's you basically, in essence, even if you're not with the guy anymore, whether it's through divorce or if it's just the son's father, you basically have a family. You are not by yourself. And what and this applies whether you're a single mother or not, but for the ladies that are complaining, you have to consider what you are asking, of men. And I think that sometimes women look at things, one-sided. And I hear all these women making all of these comments, trying to figure out what is wrong with men or what men want, or they are saying what they believe men want and what men should have, but never once, have I seen these women go directly to men and ask the question, find out what it is that guys want. A man would be able to tell you what he does or does not want in a relationship or in a woman, or the reason why in mass, these men are not approaching, or they seem to be disappearing. Now, back to the single mother, or some of these single mothers that claim that they got so much going on, okay? They're raising their kids, you know what I'm saying? They believe that they look hot, okay? They don't have time to be, playing around or fooling around, okay? They don't have time to waste. They got their degrees, or they're working a full-time job, raising kids, and they're going to school to get multiple degrees. Hey, kudos to you. Shout out to you. There's nothing wrong with it at all, you know. And they talk about it. One talked about she had 3 kids, you know what I'm saying, had multiple degrees, you know what I'm saying, got her own, you know what I'm saying, crib or house or whatever like that. Works a full-time job, and she got a couple of pets. Okay? And so as I begin to add it up, I'm like, well, you only have 24 hours in one day. That doesn't matter. That's for everybody, man or woman. We only have 24 hours in a day. So if you were doing all of those different things, how do you have time, for a man? How do you have time for him? And then they go on and lay out their high expectations, or some of it to me seems a bit unrealistic, but they wonder why they're not being approached. I mean, they want, I guess, maybe a high value man, you know what I'm saying, or somebody in that range, and yet they forget themselves. They want somebody that doesn't have kids or doesn't have any baggage, but yet they forget themselves in their own situation. They got several suitcases with the luggage is full, and they don't consider and think from a man's perspective when he's looking at them, you know what I'm saying, what it is that he has to give up. They want their cake and eat it too. They want to have everything their way, and they want men to come into their lives bringing, everything, to include the bag, but they don't want to compromise, and they don't take a look at their situation and look at what they are. What do you bring that man? What type of weight are you putting, on his table? Because even if the kid's father or fathers are in their lives, either way, that man has to sacrifice, and if he gets into a long-term commitment, you can best believe that woman is expecting him to expend some of his resources on her and her children. So we got to keep it real and get that out the way up front, and I guess my mother used to have a saying that when you get involved with a single mother, it's a package deal, okay? Kids come, as part of the territory. Okay, I get that, and, men, understand that, if they choose to go that route. But when you are a single mother, in terms of dating and marriage, you don't have the car. You're not in the driver's seat. You don't have the cards to play, sweetheart. So I think that the single mothers, the ones that are running their yap or running their mouths, you ladies need to step back and eat some humble pie, because men don't have to pick you. Men do not have to choose you. And also for the ladies that are single without kids, men are not obligated to date you. Men are not obligated to approach you. Men are not obligated to speak to you. Just like you ladies said that you would rather have the bear than a man, or you don't like being catcalled. You don't want men, approaching you, or you like having first rights of refusal. Well, men have a choice too. And so you ladies need to learn some humility and learn to appreciate, a man's time and his attention, because they don't have to give you any of it. You know, who are you that that men should worship at your feet? And I'm not saying that all women are like this and are saying that, but some of you ladies, you are out of pocket, you know, and you are getting a wake-up call. You know what I'm saying? Some you know, think that you 8, 9s, and 10s, but you 2s, 3s, and 4s. You know, and maybe a 5 at best. You know, you got to eat some humble pie, and you have to learn to adjust and compromise. You got to work with guys. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have to put up with you. You know, there are plenty of other options in the dating and the marriage market, and unfortunately, for you ladies, you have a faster wear out date. You know what I'm saying? You only have so many eggs. You know, you have a certain window in which you can have a healthy pregnancy. You know, for which you can bear a man some healthy kids, and then on, you know, your fertility, and then also on top of that, beauty fades. You know what I'm saying? Beauty fades, and so you ladies, you don't father time in terms of finding, you know what I'm saying, a suitable mate is not on your side. You know what I'm saying? That's just, I mean, I didn't make it that way. That's just the way God did it through nature. You know what I'm saying? And father time always gets his man. You know what I'm saying? And when I talk about father time, the term that would be quoted would be, it's called women hitting the wall. And so when women hit that wall, that's when all that beauty and all those looks, you know what I'm saying, they have hit the decline, or father time has snatched them back and taken away, and then women lose their options. So you ladies got to choose wisely, but you have to be more realistic. And especially if you have kids, having one child is enough. But if you got multiple children, honey, you are not in the driver's seat, you know, and you need to step back, you know what I'm saying, and adjust your lenses, you know what I'm saying, because you don't have the same standing that you used to. And understand something, every single year there's a beautiful woman that turns 18. You know, so the competition is stiff, you know, but some of the ladies are reaping what they sowed. You know what I'm saying? With this, some of it with this feminist ideology. I'm strong, independent, and don't need no man. Well, now, you got what you asked for. You know what I'm saying? You said you were strong, independent, said you don't need no man. Well, now you ain't got none, and you ain't got none, and now you can't find one. You know, so you got to be realistic. You know, you got to be realistic and be humble. You know what I'm saying? Stop being so mean. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to use men. You can't go dig your way to love and lifestyle. It's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? All it's going to wind up happening is you ladies going to wind up playing yourselves, and you're going to get used. And then when those guys that have what you looking for or thinking that you're going to get out of them, and when they finish using you, they're just going to toss you, you know what I'm saying, to the side and move on to the next one. And then, you know, you ladies wind up bitter, you know what I'm saying, and hurt, you know what I'm saying, behind it. You know, but another thing, you know what I'm saying, you ladies say that men ain't approaching you. Well, you said you were strong and independent. Well, now's your chance, you know what I'm saying, shoot your shot. You know, some of you women, you are chickens, you're cowards, you know what I'm saying? You are afraid of being rejected. If you see a guy you like, step up to the plate and let him know that you're interested. Men are not here to read your minds and not here to read your emotions. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? So if you are interested in a certain guy, you know what I'm saying, step up. You know, let him know you're interested. I mean, guys are not mean or cruel, you know what I'm saying, in terms of turning somebody down. The worst he can say, you know, say, hey, you know, either, you know, hey, I'm either involved in a relationship or he's not interested. Okay, so what? You know what I'm saying? Men got to go through it all the time. And times have changed. I understand, you know, that ultimately, you know, the way normally it would be is that men would approach women, but, you know, things have shifted, you know? Things have shifted. So you ladies, shoot your shot, you know what I'm saying? Stop being a chicken. You know, stop being afraid to Stop being afraid of fear of rejection. You know what I'm saying? Put it out there. You know what I'm saying? Put it on the line. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you don't get them, hey, at least you tried. You know what I'm saying? Hey, keep it pushing and moving. You know what I'm saying? That's not the only guy. You know, be more realistic in your expectations. Meet a man halfway. You know, stop turning down Cheesecake Factory or telling a man how much money he gonna spend on you and where he is going to take you on the first date. You know, it's time to get back to basics. You know what I'm saying? What happened, you know what I'm saying, to like either a nice cup of coffee, you know what I'm saying, or what happened to a picnic, you know what I'm saying, or, you know, a walk in the park, or maybe a little bit of ice cream. It's just an icebreaker, man, just to get to know each other. You got to get back to basics, you know? And as for you ladies that want to serial dating, or, you know, trying to juggle multiple men at a time, multiple men at a time, hey, that goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? You can't try to have a team, you know, a basketball team, but then you want the guy to be exclusive. And I had an experience like that. And when I was, and I'm sorry for going on for a minute, guys. I know it's getting a bit long, ladies, also. But I started getting tired of the game. I think when I hit like it happened for me somewhere like in my 30s, you know. And I guess I had an epiphany, and the light bulb came on. I began to assess, you know, the dating market. I looked at it and said, hey, wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? What have been, you know what I'm saying, getting out of this deal? And I'll share one experience. So I'm at this club with a spot, right? And this young lady, you know, was interested in me. You know, she was good looking, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so, you know, wound up exchanging numbers, and then I turned the corner, you know what I'm saying? Hey, she got some other dudes, you know, who she's getting a number from, you know. So I told her, because at the time I finally just got tired of it. It's like, hey, I don't feel like playing the game no more. It's like, I don't feel like it. I don't feel like sharing, you know what I'm saying? Or the woman, you know what I'm saying, basically going around on a carousel, you know, on the Chitlin circuit, you know, getting served up. And I just didn't feel like being on her team, you know what I'm saying? And so I told her, I said, hey, look here, you know what I'm saying? Hey, lose my number, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to play the game. And when I told her that, she got upset, you know, and started whining and kept following me all around the club. And, you know, I mean, even till after it closed, she like basically begging me, you know what I'm saying, to not delete, you know what I'm saying, the number, you know what I'm saying. I said, look here, I said, I just saw, I said, you got 4 other guys on your team. You trying to make me number 5, you know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like being bothered with being in your rotation, or what is insecurity, but they would call it a hotation. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just keeping it real, you know. So you ladies, you can't have it all. You cannot, you know what I'm saying, have it all, you know. And you have to know how to act. You gotta get some act right, you know what I'm saying. You know, be respectable, you know what I'm saying. You can't get mad at men, you know, for objectifying you when you coming out the house, you know what I'm saying, basically half naked. You know, what do you expect guys to do? You know what I'm saying? You know, newsflash, ladies, men are going to look, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't want, you know what I'm saying, men looking at you in a certain way, then stop presenting yourself that way. Stop dressing that way. Stop trying to be Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, you know, or Sexy Red, you know. Carry yourself in a respectable manner, you know. If you don't want to be perceived that way, then stop putting yourself out there like that, you know. And if you don't want to be treated, you know what I'm saying, as a whore, you know what I'm saying, then stop whole behavior. You know, you get what you put out, you know, and stop making everything transactional. If you make a relationship transactional, the guy's going to treat you like a whore because you got a price tag. You know, you can't have it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Riding the CC carousel, you ladies have to know when to get off. You have to know when to stop, get off the ride, you know what I'm saying? You can't ride that carousel forever. And you cannot expect to continually ride the carousel. And then after you've been ran through, you want, something serious. I mean, it is what it is. Men, no man wants to turn a hoe into a housewife. You understand what I'm saying? Men will sleep with whores, but men don't want to make them their girlfriends, and they definitely don't want to marry them. So you got to make up in your mind what it's going to be. And for you single mothers, if you barely have enough time for yourself, then you don't need to be dating. Step off the dating market, handle your business and raise your kids like you're supposed to. And stop trying to dig in to men's pockets. Stay out of men's pockets. So you say you're strong and independent and you make your own money, well, then use it. Stop trying to use men, to fund your lifestyle or to fund your goals. You girls better stop listening to She Was 7. Or some of these female dating coaches, they are dumb as a box of rocks. And they're giving you ladies the wrong advice. If you want to know what men want, or how to deal with men, ask men. What are you going to a female for? She's never been a man and she never will be one. So, stop listening to these dumb, female dating coaches. Some of them, they are dumb as a box of rocks. I hate to use that word, but some of them, they dumb. And they don't know what they're talking about. But you single mothers, handle your business, raise your kids, and stop worrying about, what men are doing, and who you can get, because a lot of you single mothers, I'm gonna keep it real, just like this. A lot of you single mothers, you're easy lays and you're easy targets. What demands can you really make? Even if you look good, there's a single female who looks equally just as good, but that does not have your baggage. And if you don't have enough time for yourself, how you gonna have time to go out? I know the deal because I've been there before. Some of you single mothers, you can't wait to get you a piece, and you got your kids in one room and you laying up with a man in the bedroom right next to it. So don't give me that. Because I know the deal. I know from experience, and some of the guys I know, my friends know from experience, single mothers, generally speaking, are easy lays. You are easy target. So stop all this foolishness. Stop all the foolishness. You got to be realistic in your situation, and you're going to have to come down off of some of your high standards and be real, because you are the one that's looking for a man. You're the one. You looking to be approached. You're looking for a man that's worthwhile to take you and your brood, on. So you need to eat some humble pie. And for you ladies that are single, snap out of it. Sometimes all of you ladies, sometimes y'all live in fantasy land. You believe what you see on social media. You believe what you see on TV. You believe what you see with soap operas. This is real life. And men, are not going to put, what they worked hard for and give you their time, their attention, their affection, if you're not worth it. You got to be willing to give that man something in exchange, because you want something from him. And from what I know about women, if you give them anything, they sure will take it. I'm just telling like it is, straight up. But you ladies gotta, get back to basics and be realistic. Guys are not, approaching, because some of you ladies some of you women, you're headaches. I'm gonna tell it just like it is. Some of you women, you are a headache, and guys don't feel like they don't feel like being bothered with you. Some of you women, guys only want to smash you. I'm sorry to say it is what it is, and y'all know this. They just want to smash you, and after that they don't want nothing else to do with you. So it's like And all men are not like that. I'm not saying that. There's some good men out there, you know what I'm saying, that do want relationships, you know what I'm saying? But some of you ladies, you've overpriced yourself out the game, you know what I'm saying? And you're overbearing, and you know what I'm saying, you're a headache. And so men, you know what I'm saying, men get tired, you know what I'm saying? You claim to be strong and independent, but you make yourself undateable. Strong, independent, you know what I'm saying, but undateable. Women, you know what I'm saying, should be pleasant to be around. You know what I'm saying? And even if the guy does have money and resources, you still should not be a drain on his pockets. You know what I'm saying? If you like the guy, like him, you know what I'm saying, for who he is, you know what I'm saying? Not for what you can get out of him, And like I said, some of you women, not all, I'm not talking about the good ones, but some of you, y'all just going to have to learn the hard way. If you have a certain mindset, and what you believe that your value is, and men are not approaching you, and it seems like your strategy ain't working, then you need to step back, take a look in the mirror. You need to re-strategize and come up with a new game plan, because whatever y'all putting down, men are not buying it. Men are not buying it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, strong, independent, but undateable. Something to think about, ladies. And if you want something long term and you want a marriage, you gotta compromise, and you gotta be on one accord, and you got to be on board with that man's program. He's not on your program, you're on his. You're the one, that wants a wedding ring from him. So you ladies, so you gotta get in check, man. Some of you women, you're out of pocket. You are out of pocket, and some of y'all flat out, y'all foolish. And some of you, and many of you, gonna have to learn the hard way. You know what I'm saying? You don't believe that fat meat is greasy. Stop the foolishness. Single mothers, you know what I'm saying? Eat some humble pie. You know what I'm saying? Raise your kids like you're supposed to. And stop worrying about men. You know what I'm saying? Raise your kids. If you don't have time for yourself, how you gonna have time for a man? And you can't expect to bring a man into your life and expect him to play second fiddle. I understand that your kids do come first, but if you cannot afford to make time for that man and to treat him like he's supposed to be treated, then plain and simply put, single mothers, stay off the dating market. Don't bother wasting your time. Don't waste the men's time. If your kids come first, make your kids your priority and raise them, and then get back to the dating market when you've raised your kids. No man, he doesn't want you as a headache. And if your kids don't know how to act right and they're unruly, he don't want to be bothered with some unruly kids either. You understand? Especially if they're not his. You know what I'm saying? Or you want to bring a man into your life and you want him to commit to you long term, right? And you want him to play stepdaddy, but he can't discipline your kids. And I'm not talking about, I'm talking about abuse. I'm talking about making sure that they act right and show respect. You ladies, you don't think about this. You think about things one way. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to consider how much money does he have to spend. You understand what I'm saying? Single mothers and those that are not single mothers, your job is to make a man's, you should make a man's life, easier. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be a burden. You want to know some of the reasons why these men are not dating? Let me see. Let me lay this out before I get ready to get off here. Let me lay some of this out for y'all so you can hear it straight from the horse's mouth. Let's see. Some of the reasons why men are choosing not to date or approach you is because some of you have funky attitudes. Some of you, your hygiene is not up to par like it should be. You know what I'm saying? Some of your hygiene, some of you ladies don't have, the best hygiene practices, to include your box. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to keep it real. Let's see, another reason, some of you ladies' stuff, you know what I'm saying, is not as good as you think it is. You know, I'm telling it like telling the truth, and this is stuff that men talk about. But you want to hear it? You know what I'm saying? Well, you're hearing some of the reasons. You know what I'm saying? If your box is no good, you know what I'm saying, you know, I definitely ain't keeping no man around. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, a woman's hygiene should be impeccable. Another thing, some of you women, you can't keep a clean house. No man likes a trifling and lazy woman. You know, some of you, you're cantankerous. You know what I'm saying? You have, you got, like I said, your attitudes. You know what I'm saying? No man wants to be in the same household with a scornful woman or who's got a funky attitude. You know, single mother. Some of you, you don't raise your kids right. You know, some of your kids are unruly. They run around wild, and some are disrespectful to you. And so no man wants to go into a situation. If the kids don't respect their own mother, they're not more than likely not going to respect him. You know, but they disrespect you. And then if the guy tries to discipline your children and do what you should have done, you know, then you get upset and you get mad at him. You know, so single mothers, discipline your kids right. You know, if your kids don't respect you, that's a bad sign to a guy looking at you from the outside. You know what I'm saying? He ain't coming up in that mess. He don't want nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? Another reason, you know, some of you ladies, you can't cook. You can't cook. You know, and this is standard basic stuff. A woman's hygiene, keeping a clean house, knowing how to cook. You know what I'm saying? That's the basic stuff. I don't care whether you work or not. You know what I'm saying? If you working hours and you got a good profession, well then take some cooking classes. Learn how to cook. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what some of you ladies, mothers or your aunties, if they're not teaching you, it's one thing to get a man, but you got to learn how to keep him. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to keep a man. And that means you got to learn how to treat a man like a king. You know what I'm saying? Make better choices in the men that you choose and in the men that you choose to let inside your body. Make better choices because there's consequences. You know, how those that are single mothers, you didn't get those kids by the stork bringing them. You got them by laying on your back and open up your legs. Plain and simply put, whether it was through marriage, you know what I'm saying, or through dating. And I'm not knocking or hating on anybody, you know, that has kids, you know, out of wedlock. But the stork did not bring those kids. You know what I'm saying? That was your feel good. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's some of the reasons, man. Some of you ladies, you got too much debt. You got too much debt and you want the guy to pay that off. Okay? And granted, there are some men that do have the money that they can afford to do that. Some of them could afford to do it, but you gotta be you're not getting that, you know what I'm saying, unless you married or you got to be something really, really special, you know. But you want men to pay your bills and pay for dates. You want the men to foot the bill, you know what I'm saying, on your behalf, but you don't want to give him any respect. And you don't want to respect, you know what I'm saying, his position as a man for what you're asking from him. That's another reason, you know what I'm saying. Why is a man going to take you on, you know what I'm saying, whether you got kids or not, but you don't want to respect, you know what I'm saying, his position as a man or respect his leadership and authority. And when I say leadership and authority, it doesn't mean lording over you like a slave. That's not what it means. You are a grown individual just like he is, but you got to respect the man, you know what I'm saying, you know, and let him, you know what I'm saying, be a man, you know what I'm saying. You got to give men respect, man. And if you don't give men respect, you know, you're not going to be able to keep. He might smash you, and then again, he might even bother with you. You know what I'm saying? But you got to give men respect. You know? And if you have these requirements for men, then shorty, you have to expect that you're going to have to you're going to have to compromise and going to have to look to give him what it is that he needs, you know what I'm saying, and what he wants, you know what I'm saying, because you ladies, you ask a lot, but you don't want to give anything. And there is nothing for free. Nothing is for free. For everything, there's a price. You know? But I'm gonna stop right there because this thing is going on way too long. But that's just some of the reasons. There's other reasons. You know what I'm saying? But you ladies, get your mind right. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about your coochie and your body. You know, and some of you, your coochie ain't as good as you think it is. You know what I'm saying? Get a reality check. You know what I'm saying? And if you think you're lonely now, in the famous words of Bobby Womack, wait until tonight, girl. You know? But if you ladies don't get your mind right, you're going to see more of these guys disappearing, men walking away, men going their own way. You're going to see them saving themselves, and you're going to see the passport bro movement expand. You know what I'm saying? And these guys, men, they're done talking to you. They have told you time and time again what they wanted, you know what I'm saying? And some of you ladies are hard-headed. You stay listening, but you're not hearing. And so, you want to know what men want, you know what I'm saying? Go and ask them. and stop the foolishness and stop listening to these dumb female dating coaches. Some of them, like I said, they dumb as a box of rocks. You know, and you stay listening to them, and they're giving you bad advice and pointing you in the wrong direction. And you wonder why your relationships, you know what I'm saying, are not working. You want to know what men want? Ask them. You know, but that's all I have on this one. I'm going to shut this down. This went too long. But name of the this YouTube channel was Ericbroadus YouTube. See right there, EricBroadus YouTube, or EricBroadusYouTube.com, and also my Rumble channel, Snakz123, SNAKZ 123 on Rumble. So for Ericbroadus YouTube, smash the bell to become a subscriber. Hit the like button to like the video. Hit the unlike button to unlike them. You know, either way, leave a comment. You know, love the dialogue with you. For Snakz123 on Rumble, you know what I'm saying? Join and subscribe to me over there. You know, the same thing. Hit the like button to like the videos. Hit the unlike button if you don't like them. Either way, leave a comment. Love the dialogue with you. Also have a podcast, SnakzThoughts, SNAKZTHOUGHTS, SnakzThoughts. You can find the podcast on Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Radio PBM, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and a host of other social media outlets. And lastly, ladies and men, ladies and gents, I also have some weight loss products. It's called the 5 Best Weight Loss Products. Link will be in the description. Go and click on the link. You know, go in there and purchase the products to help, you know what I'm saying, lose fat, you know what I'm saying, lose that stubborn belly fat, and, you know, help you lean out. Next to God, your health is the best thing, so you should take care of it. But that's all I have on this one, guys. And again, strong, independent, but undateable. Go figure, you know what I'm saying? The ladies, don't learn the hard way. You got to wake up. You got to wise up, all right? Peace out. Catch you on the next one later.